Hello, everyone. Welcome to the network. Welcome to the Two Dads edition.
Wait, that's not it.
Start again.
Two Dads, Gen X edition. That's a great beginning.
Hey, welcome everybody to Two Dads Gen X edition. I am Dawson.
And I am James.
And we invite you to join us on YouTube, to like, subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications. Let's go ahead and Two Dads this.
Stuff. Yeah, that's what it is, stuff. Yeah, one of the movies that I thought was really cool for like doomsday scenario kind of stuff is like, what is it? You know, where the earth freezes.
Yeah.
The kids are in the
Tomorrow.
government library. Tomorrow.
Something
The
tomorrow.
day after tomorrow.
Yeah. Another day in a Quaid movie.
That's right. He's in a lot of really good movies.
You know, it's funny about Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't realize he was actually, like, he worked with him before. Like, they were on another movie.
Really?
And he goes, yeah, it's been great to work with him for the first time. And he goes, dude, we were in another movie together. And he goes, we were? He goes, yeah, day after tomorrow. And he goes, oh, yeah, you're my dad. He goes, yeah.
That's so bad.
He goes, we were only in this, they only actually worked together for like 2 days.
Yeah.
That whole movie.
Oh, yeah. There's
Because they were apart the whole time till the very end.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like these movies that we see, it's like it spans, years potentially, but and so for the viewer, it's like we think of this big time frame. No, it's like 3 days of filming.
Yeah.
So
Fallout.
yeah. No, but I like those end of the world scenario kind of movies. Some of them are like I think pretty realistic. Some of them are just like The Rain. Have you ever seen that one?
The Rain.
Yeah, The Rain. It's a TV show on Netflix or Prime or something like that. But it's like from Sweden, Norway, whatever. But it's about how there's a virus in the rain. And
I think I have seen that.
yeah, so it's like 3 or 4 seasons, and I'm finishing it up finally. I saw most of it a couple
Like at the end, they
years
get
ago,
caught out in the rain and like they don't die.
something
It's
like that.
It finally
Did you
ends.
just spoil it for me?
Oh, have you not seen it?
I
My bad.
haven't finished it.
You'll die.
But yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember. I feel like I remember something like that. No, the funny thing is like they're really the apocalyptic movies are so good because
what movies?
Damn it! No, I can't say it.
Apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic.
There we go.
Don't make fun of me. You know I can't talk.
Dawson, that was so cute.
You know I'm hard of talking. That's why I tell my patients.
Yeah, no.
They're like, I'm hard of hearing. I'm like, it's okay. I'm hard of talking, so we're perfect for each other.
But you were saying you like the
I don't know.
apocalyptic
You fucking
movies.
derailed me. I don't even know anymore what I was fucking saying. Jesus. No, I think as humans, we find it so interesting because we always fear, and I think that's what The Walking Dead was really good about showing,
Mm-hmm.
is that disaster isn't what you have to fear. It's actually humanity is what you have to fear.
Oh yeah,
Because people, they turn to their animalistic style because they think, oh my God, I'm going to die. But then they cause more death by doing it.
So one of the things that I think about is because you remember that show Doomsday Preppers?
Yeah.
There's a lot of the stuff on there where it's like it's just unrealistic. People are just freaking out about a specific thing, but there are some things that are actually, I think, pretty realistic in the sense that, like, when COVID happened and all of a sudden the distribution system in our country was like ground to a halt. That was the first time I'd ever been in I say it like a lot. That's the first time I'd gone to Sam's Club and the shelves up above, when it came to food, were almost empty completely.
Yeah, but that's different though, because that was like designed.
Well,
I mean, they purposely.
That's the conspiracy, yeah. But here's
No, it was. I mean, you had shipping containers just sat in the ocean for weeks
right,
because union workers weren't allowed to work.
right.
And I guarantee if we had a different president at that time, they would have
It probably would have been different,
yes.
yes. But
Get him in
so
there. Let's get the food in here.
this is what I think is the realistic scenario. Okay, so let's say there's Russia launches a nuke, we knock it out of the sky, but it's high enough in the atmosphere that it creates an EMP and it knocks out power through half the country.
Yeah, that's one of Michael Crichton's books, man. It's
Right.
scary as shit.
So
knocking the world back into Stone Age.
or let's say China hacks our electrical grid and shuts off our entire electrical grid, blows all the transformers, all this kind of stuff to where we have no electricity.
Which for our listeners, all 137 of you, Elon proved that you don't have to take out 2 of them.
Right, because you take out
5.
the right ones in the right places, and it
7 or 9.
cascades. Right. So here's the scenario. I don't think it's going to be like the zombie apocalypse or some disease that's going to go rampant and then kill everybody off. I think what would be realistic is chaos.
Oh yeah.
Because the grocery stores only carry like 2 days worth of food in them, because they have this on-demand ordering system kind of thing where it's like if you hold on to too much, the store has too much invested in their product, and they're trying to make their profit maximized. And so by having as little on hand as possible and replenishing it frequently, there's less risk of losing money because you're only resupplying what you need rather than holding on to a whole bunch of stuff. So if the grocery stores only have like 2 days worth of food and there's an incident, the grocery stores now have 2 hours worth of food. Most people in their homes, they buy their food daily or every other couple of days or something like that for their dinner, for their food, whatever. And so like in their homes, they only have like a week or so's worth of food in their home, besides like ramen. They'll have like non-perishable stuff.
For me, I have like 4 hours.
That means like people rush the grocery store. You don't have your staples like milk and eggs and cheese because those are the perishables. People run out of that within the first week or two. And then what happens? Now you don't have food in your home. People start getting scared. Kids are going hungry. If the electrical grid is not working, you can't go to Walgreens or CVS and get your meds anymore. So you literally have people's lives at risk. That's when the chaos happens, is about 2-3 weeks in. That's when you get people who, like, if they know that you have food, they're going to start breaking into your home. They're going to start threatening you, stuff like that. And it'll be a lot worse in the cities than it is in the suburbs. Certainly not in the rural areas so much, because they've been self-sufficient for generations, Not so much anymore, but they still have that capacity.
Yeah.
But in major cities and the suburban areas around those major cities, that's when the chaos happens, is about 2-3 weeks in. If you have people who are hungry, you can drink water and survive for this is my cats. You can drink water and survive for a long time, but you can't go without water, but when you're hungry, you become desperate. And if your kids are hungry, you're even more desperate. If people are starting to die because they don't have their medications, kid has asthma and he doesn't have an inhaler, parents freak out because they're so reliant on these medications. I think that's the scenario that's more realistic. No matter what the actual trigger event is for all of that, that then becomes the thing. And so it's how do you pass that time frame to where you can either help your friends and neighbors, or you can, all that kind of stuff. But
and it's every movie, every show. I mean, I think that's one thing with the Walking Dead and the Fear of the Dead and Dead Beyond, all this stuff. The Dead universe.
Mm-hmm.
They just show if you can make it the first month,
you're probably going to be okay.
Then you can usually survive.
Right.
And the mindset is like, I've always gone back and forth. Do you hunker down or do you get the fuck out of the city?
Right.
Kind of thing. Because the city is going to be the ones that fall faster. You're going to have the government with all these false promises, usually get you all round up.
And give you control. You're trying to cordon off areas and
stuff. The
stuff.
elitists are always going to go to their little bunkers in Missouri. And I think they're going to
Montana.
I think they're going to be shocked when millions of people flock to Missouri to break into the bunkers in Missouri.
But how are they going to get to? Because if you have no electricity, that means you can't pump gas anymore either.
Well, I mean, it's the track, yeah.
I mean, if somebody's in St. Louis and the bunker is in the middle of Kansas, they can't get there.
Well, they can. It just takes time.
That's the thing, is it takes time. But how are you going to survive that time, right? So, I'm not a doomsday prepper, I don't think.
I've seen your piles of wheat. Everyone James lives at.
No, I don't. No, I don't. But I have over there, those bags on top of the shelf up there. Those are my bug out PAG 72R kit things. Because it's just a matter of, like you said, it's how do you get past that 30 days? And so, we had COVID that happened, and a lot of people got scared.
Well, COVID was funny because people were buying
toilet paper,
things that hand sanitizer and You know, I mean, it's good down the road. I mean, I think one of the best episodes in The Walking Dead was the swine flu one when they're in the prison. Because it's like they had, I mean, the conditions are so dirty.
Yeah.
And that was one of mine, being the medical field. I'm like, dude, they don't even talk about anybody getting sick at all. You know, it's like,
Right.
Because it would spread like a lot. Like you would have to contain it. The funny thing is, being in the jail, my ass would be locking myself every night in that jail cell just for that reason. Because if someone has died, they're not walking up on me when I'm sleeping and eating me in my sleep.
Right.
I'm locking that door every fucking night because I do not want to get eaten. But it would suck to wake up and everyone's freaking dead, and you're like, "Oh shit, how am I gonna get out of here?"
Well, you just have your weapons in there and some food in there and some water in there,
I
so
know,
that like when you get them to the bars and you kill them, or kill them again.
You do it so often, it would be hard to get out of there. I think.
It would,
and it really was for them in that episode, but kind of thing. And I think they actually did that episode really well, just because Glenn went into respiratory failure. And they were bagging him. He didn't have oxygen, so I think he probably would have had some hypoxic episodes and been a little not as smart anymore afterwards. But
depends on how long somebody's down.
Yeah, he can still. Yeah, I get too medical. But yeah, so it's kind of things. It's like, so if you were going to prepare for like 72 hours, what would you look for? Like, what would you prepare? I mean,
yeah.
Ammo,
So I have
water.
those bug out bags, those 72-hour kits is what I call them. But like, so I have a first aid kit on them, and it's got some basics. So I have like gauze pads, I've got alcohol wipes, I've got Band-Aids, I've got trauma shears, I've got, I even have what are they called? The things that cut off blood flow.
Underwear.
No. I don't know what underwear you have.
The ball sack.
No, the you strap it around like somebody lost a leg kind of thing to keep them from bleeding out.
Yeah.
Tourniquet, that's what it's called. Thank you. So I have tourniquets as well, just in case. But like, it's just the basics.
I do too. It's called a belt.
That's like if you don't have. So I have, right, so that I don't have to use my belt. But I have some of those things, and they're all vacuum sealed. They've got oxygen absorbers, so like they can last longer and all that kind of stuff. But I have that. For just like if you have to get out and there's glass and you cut yourself, okay, you can clean the wound, you can cover the wound, you're fine, But then I have like some freeze dried meals, because they're light. They're not, having a bunch of cans of food, that's just heavy. That's weight. That means you're slow. But so I have freeze dried meals. I don't have water in there, but I do have life straws, because here in this area, here in Missouri, we have lots of water sources. They're just not clean.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you got to have water, you got to have food, that kind of stuff. And you got to, depending on the time of year, you have to be able to stay warm. But it's just basics. There's, a really good knife in there. There's some tools. There's, some like a multi-tool kind of thing. Just some basic stuff. Some 550 cord. You can take the sheathing off of the 550 cord and you have these little strands so you can like stitch things together. There's a lot of different things you can do, but it's like there's some basic stuff that you can then make a variety with if you have those basics and if you know how.
Yeah, so I have a 357.
Yeah, 9mm shotgun.
Couple shotguns, 30-30. A lot of ammunition, so yeah.
Yeah, my theory about
I guess I'll be eating human, down the road.
My theory about weapons is you have one for distance, you have one for close range, like 10, 20 feet, and then you have up close and personal.
Yeah.
Because if you have a long gun, if you have a rifle like a 30-06 or an AR or something like that, and somebody's in your face, you're not going to be able to use it.
I know. That's what my Claymore's for.
So you want to kill both of you?
No, my Claymore, man.
The Claymore is the explosive.
No, the sword Claymore.
Oh, gotcha. All right, so I'm thinking military.
I was too.
You're thinking military
guys.
too. Claymore, like in Nobody, where he's got the Claymore on the table and he's got the pin.
Oh yeah. No, man, I just got my sword and start fucking.
But even the sword, somebody gets up close, it's not as usable. Now a knife, a really good knife. So I like the karambit, the curved hook kind of knife. Those things are brutal.
And I got my Gandalf staff.
That's going to work really well. People are going to just laugh and walk away. They're like, this guy's got nothing.
I'll be like, none shall pass. And I'll wear my robe and like, oh, that's a loony bin.
I bet he tastes good.
Or like in
no teeth come out.
or like in Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
The Black Knight.
Yeah. He's like, you have no arms. What are you gonna do? Bleed on me?
I'll bite your legs off. Yeah. But yeah, so it's just, just the basic theories where it's like there's a lot of people who they waste their money on stuff.
So here's my mind always goes to like, I wonder what race would actually do really good in an apocalypse.
Not to become racist or anything like that, but probably
become racist by thinking about this.
No, I'm just trying to think
racist.
of cultural things amongst the different races in this country because we're a great melting pot. I think Hispanics would probably do great.
Yeah, I do too, honestly.
Yeah,
because I think they already live in a third world kind of thing, and they develop and build and know how.
I was thinking they're very resilient and resourceful.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I just said. They are. And what's funny is I actually bought a book of survival, and it's actually written by an author down in Mexico City.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's all in Spanish. So,
Do you speak Spanish?
I have to use Google Translator to do it. But it has picture diagrams and everything.
Yeah.
So
because I don't know if you ever got your Eagle Scout. So I'm an Eagle Scout. Yeah. So like wilderness survival, first aid, all that kind of, there's those basics, right? I know how to build a shelter. And
that's what's fucked up about the Boy Scouts in general, because when you actually look at the survival handbook, because it wasn't called the Boy Scout Manual, it was called the Survival Manual. The writer of The Walking Dead said he got 90% of his stuff for that show was from a 1930s or whenever the Boy Scouts was been book. Yeah. It's like the fire, the below ground fire, right? Where you can't see it across. You do the tunnel down and around.
Yeah.
Water filtration. Like in that book that I got, it shows like how to do like an oven outside a pizza oven kind of thing, but it can cook everything.
Yeah.
But it's so enclosed that you can't see the flame. And it's just going to be stuff like that, how to catch your water off the house and convert it into drinking and plants and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff I actually just want to do in general to save money, across the board, but down the, because I think an EMP or something like that, that's just a matter of time. That's going to happen. Either it's AI is going to do it. It might be us against robots. Who knows?
I welcome our robot overlords.
Jason, you can. We're not.
And it's just, this is one thing, and I think it really will be whatever the disaster is won't be the problem. It will be the people.
Yeah.
And I think and I keep referring to Walking Dead and stuff, but because of watching The Walking Dead, I've become one of those people that just randomly as I'm driving, this would be a great place to stay. This would be a really good fortitude. How would I, if we did have it, how would I make my house look abandoned to where no one wants to come in? But if they do, they fucking die in 2 seconds, because I'm like, I'm not going to have people breaking into rape and maim. And that's the sad thing is I think you'd actually see more deaths from people in fear than you would from the actual cause of the death.
I totally agree.
Disaster.
I totally agree. So like
you see that in riots now. You see rioters destroying. I mean, you saw that in Minnesota, Black Lives Movement. They destroyed tons of Black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
It's like you're destroying the businesses of the people that you say you're trying to support.
And so that's the thing, is like
ironic how stupid human beings
and we're not even in a big apocalyptic event kind of thing. It's just people are just politically pissed off about stuff, and we're doing that. So what happens when people are scared, hungry, sick, people are dying off? That's going to be, that I think is going to be the biggest problem, like you said. And like if the electrical grid goes down, the government will come back and fix it. There are some people that'll come back and fix it. The companies will try and get in, but it's going to take time. Yeah. And that's the point, is like, how do you last through that time? And so like one of the things that I think about, like you mentioned, is how do you make sure that you're not a target? Because if you have water catch systems outside and you have a garden and you have, people are going to notice that. And so you become the place that they go to.
Yeah. And
so it's like, how do you keep it subtle? Practical but subtle. Like I've got cases of water, because water is cheap from Sam's Club. 3,600,000 bottles for $5 kind of thing. So it's like that doesn't last forever.
Yeah,
but it lasts for a little while. It's here and nobody knows. I guess now people know.
Well,
But-
I think the kind of cool thing is the one episode of The Last of Us where it shows the survivalist guy, and it has the whole community. So like the whole town like leaves to go
Mhm.
to the government run
Right.
safety
Right.
zones. He's like, all right, cool. So he takes over this whole neighborhood,
Yeah.
you know, and eventually converts it into a
Gathers
compound.
everything. Yeah.
You know, and he's totally by himself. And then later on, Joel, you know, trades with them and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it's just like, that's what I imagine. And, you know, you saw throughout Walking Dead that ultimately everything falls.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have
Yeah.
community and people to support it and defend it, you can't survive on your own too. And I think that's where humans
You
need to-
can, but it's hard.
yeah.
We need connection as well. But yeah,
Live together, die alone.
what's that?
Live together or die alone. Like
Yeah.
there was a report someone did. They pulled together specialists from the CIA, NSA, and a lot of other government organizations. And they said, let's come up with a manual for the populace if there was a natural disaster. And what are the first three things that the average Joe American would have to do? And on everyone's list, the number one thing was community. Hunker down, get together, commune, 10 plus people. If you're alone, you're not going to survive.
Most people, the
Right.
majority of the population can't survive by themselves. I'd be fine. I mean, I wouldn't want to be alone, but I'd be fine. But so there's you know some basic things where it's like, again, you know, food, water, right? If it's community, then communication, but you have to be able to, if you get hurt or sick, how are you going to survive that? Because back in you know, pioneer days, illness was a killer.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you some of the stuff that I have. I got plenty of ammo. I got plenty of, you know, self-defense kind of stuff.
Is
But
this
I've
when we
got,
pull out the whiteboard and we
No.
write it?
Write it all down.
but if people want to take
What
notes,
do you
sure.
have?
But I have so in our homes, we have the capacity for stuff, for some survival stuff. Like if there's a disaster, there are bathtubs you can plug up and fill up with water. That's, you know, 30 gallons of water or so. Most humans need about a gallon a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot, right? Your water tank in your toilet holds a gallon or 2 or 3 of water. The ice
Not
in
the
your
toilet
freezer.
bowl people, the tank in the back.
Well, if you're a normal human being and you actually clean your toilet bowl, that's even a source of water if you have to, but I wouldn't, not in the bowl. But the tank,
You wouldn't clean your toilet, or
I clean my toilets regularly. Thank you. Yes. But
especially when I come over,
there's also something that people don't think about, right?
destroy them.
The water in the water pipes. So at the water heater mine holds 50 gallons, but then I've got, you know, 5 or 6 gallons worth of water in the copper pipes that all drain through. Like there's that little like faucet thing at the bottom of your water heater.
Yeah.
Well, the water all goes down into that. So I actually have it's a 50-gallon water heater, but I actually have like 60, 70 gallons in the water pipes. If water is the first thing that you absolutely need and you need to like shelter in place kind of thing, you have water. Just because the faucet doesn't turn on doesn't mean that you don't have water. You just have to be able to figure out how to find it.
Yeah.
Second thing is food, right? Well, there's what's in your fridge, but that's perishable. That's only going to last a little bit. I remember in Georgia, we had a freeze where the power went out for like 3 days. I had a gas grill, so we took all the meat out of the fridge that was going to spoil, and we just cooked it all up. And then we some of our neighbors, we fed some of our neighbors. So we ended up having to throw some away because we just couldn't use it. But it's like, okay, that's a couple days worth of food as long as you prep it and you do the proper preservation stuff. So that's a couple days of the perishables. And then you have like your pasta, your rice, your, ramen, whatever, canned beans, that can last a long time too. But what about stuff in the yard or in the forest near the neighborhood and all? So there's you can eat dandelion leaves. There's lots of edible foods out there. Cattails, the roots of the cattails are edible too.
Can I eat your cats?
No, I mean, if pets become a potential protein source, right? It does.
Why do you think I have 9 dogs?
But yeah, so it's like there are other things when I think about that scenario where people freak out because the stores are empty and they don't have any food in their cupboards. No, there is still food.
Well, it's
you got to
short-term
learn what's in your
thinking.
area. Yeah, it's very
they're
short term.
like, how am I going to make my steak and mashed potatoes tonight and carrots? Oh,
Yeah.
You're not.
You're not. Yeah.
You're gonna eat
You might
fucking
do that
beans
for the
and
first couple
rice.
days because that's what you have. But beans and rice, and then what happens when the beans and rice is gone?
You grow some more.
Potatoes like they did on Mars.
Right. Yeah. The Martian. That was a great show. And so I have a couple of books where it's like medicinal plants, edible plants, things like that. They're, color pictures and descriptions and how to prep them, what parts of the plants are good, that kind of stuff. And it's just information. I don't go out and like seek it out and eat it now or anything like that. But if that scenario happened and if it got to that point, I have the resources to then continue to sustain myself. And there's lots of animals, rabbits, squirrels, raccoons, dogs, cats, whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
and it's funny because it's like that book I got from Mexico.
Yeah.
He does that, talks about all the plants,
Mm-hmm.
but unfortunately they're all in Mexico.
Well, no, but that's
Like,
that's an important thing,
damn
though. To get a book about plants that are in Mexico doesn't do you any good if they're not here.
I know.
And so it has to be like
They
regional.
didn't tell me that part.
Yeah.
It's like, damn it.
But that's
But there's a lot of good stuff in it, though.
Yeah, that's an
Was
important
this
thing, though.
book on sale Amazon? Like, was it like a 50-cent book, and that's why?
There's lots of stuff.
No,
on
it was my
Amazon.
dumb ass going through Instagram and it popped up Almanac for Survivalists, and I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. And it showed like,
Timu.
but it shows like how to make penicillin, and it shows the whole process of that, and it shows how to like build a house and an igloo, and
Why build a house? There are plenty of houses.
it's like a mud house down.
But
the
we got
road.
plenty of houses. We live in suburbia.
But like if you're gonna hide in the mountains,
We don't have any mountains here. We're in the Midwest.
we
And
have-
that's part of
we
the
have
point, though,
plateaus.
is that like it has to be practical to
Plateaus.
the area that you're in.
I would not stay in this area.
You're not going to get that far.
Oh, you don't know me, do you?
How long would it take you to walk to Colorado to be in the mountains and then go, oh, I'm in the mountains now. I can build a house.
Out of mud.
I think I actually looked at that. It was like 38 days, like that.
I mean, it's what, 800 miles to Denver?
Yeah,
But that's a major city. And where do you think all those people are going? To the mountains.
but I wouldn't go to those mountains.
Okay, which mountains would you go to?
I'm going to the.
You're going to the hills of Kentucky?
Hell yeah, man! Those fuckers know how to live. I'm gonna be eaten by them.
What was that show? The Outsiders?
Yeah,
That was a great show.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, but that's okay. Yeah, you can get out there a little bit, about the same amount of time. But again, where are the people in the major cities going to go? They're going to go out into the country.
Yeah, they're gonna flood our lands. This land is my land. This land is your
So yeah,
land.
the whole idea is like,
Steal my shit.
what's
Gonna
practical?
kill. That's good.
What's practical for your area? What's realistic? And how can you make sure that you have clean water, sufficient food,
Yeah.
and
Well,
then
I think
can
that's
make
why
sure
I
that you
like
stay healthy?
the Fear that did better than The Walking Dead, because they went from L.A.
Yeah,
to like Mexico City, then back up to
yeah.
the West. They were like all over, and they showed how to survive in each little area and stuff like that. But
Well, and cash is going to do almost nothing eventually.
I know
Within a
cash,
very
gold,
short time.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, well, because like one of the things that they say for preppers is like, oh, make sure you have cash on hand. Okay, so you're going to buy a bottle of clean water for $500 because it's one of the last ones, and the person who's selling it is like $500. Okay, then there goes all your cash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ammo.
cash is not the thing.
Yeah,
but-
water.
Food, you can trade food. I wouldn't trade ammunition just because why would you give somebody something to use against you?
Yeah.
Would you trade diapers? Maybe used ones?
No.
Used ones.
Why would you say used ones? That is so weird. I mean, I guess there are people with fetishes, but they'll probably die off quick.
So
Yeah, they'll be eaten.
So what's the one thing that you would raid first if you're gonna raid?
I would go to a warehouse. Not like warehouse store like Sam's Club or Costco.
Home Depot?
No. Not the retail locations where the supplies are, where the shipping depots are, because that's where they're getting the stuff to the Home Depot and the Sam's Club and the Walmarts and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's going to think of Walmart and Sam's Club. More people means more threat, right? So you go to the actual
Amazon Prime.
You go to the actual
Location.
well, like there's the Amazon
There's like
fulfillment
3 of
center
them,
that's
right?
nearby here.
There's like 3.
Yeah.
There's like 6.
That's where you go. To those places because they're the ones that have the pallets of beans.
I'm just gonna go play golf.
Fuck it.
I don't need a tea time. I can just play now.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's what you do is you go to those places. One of the things that I got off of Amazon is all of the keys for commercial buildings water systems. So like their hoses, because they have like little squares or a triangle or whatever, to stop homeless people or people from using their water. They have these specialty keys to turn those systems on. Kind of like in the house, you have a few gallons in your water pipes. So do those buildings.
Yeah.
The fire suppression systems, the ones that are water, there's water there, clean water.
See, I was trying to figure out how you could store seeds.
Yeah, just seal them up, oxygen absorber.
Well, 'cause I didn't know if how long those packages last.
So the seeds, depending on where you get them, and you want to get the heirloom ones, the ones that grow that like reseed themselves every year. But if they are stored in a clean, dry, cool place, you'll lose some of the germination of the seeds, some of that ability.
Yeah.
But where you start off with, say, 90% of them that'll germinate or 95% that'll germinate, in 5 years you might have 30% of them, 50% of them. That means you can still grow food.
Yeah, because I always thought that was kind of cool because that was one episode where they went to. Were they in Manhattan? They went to a plant, pharmacological or agricultural study place, and where they had every type of seed known to man across the whole world. It was in this one location, and I was like, "Oh, that's brilliant! That's a good idea."
So but they sell those kind of kits on Amazon and YouTube where it's like 50 different types of plants and variety of plants that are heirloom, and they're packaged in Mylar bags that are vacuum sealed, and so they'll last for years. Again, it's like the first 30 days is really what you're trying to move past.
Survive,
But if it were to be something like the actual TV shows where it goes longer than like 30, 60, 90 days, then having those seeds becomes you have to think about long-term how you're going to continue to feed yourself in a healthy way.
What about communication?
That is practical if we still have communication.
Like long wave radios.
Yeah, so I've got some handheld ones that go like 30 miles or so. But if there's an EMP, all electronics are out anyway. If the electrical grid is down, great. They work for a couple of days until the batteries run out.
Yeah.
So communications is important too, but and that's the whole point, is like what's realistic based on the scenario. So you have them, but you can't necessarily rely on them for very long depending on what the actual event is.
How many tinfoil hats do you have?
I have none. They're aluminum foil.
Yeah, I have tinfoil underwear.
But that brings up another thing. When you have like your bug out bag, whatever, what kind of clothes do you have for that? What kind of shoes? I have tennis shoes on, but if I'm trying to go 100 miles, 200 miles, these aren't going to be very good. If I'm going through the woods, if I'm going through rivers, and so you have to have decent boots.
Yeah.
Clothes that are going to be, appropriate for the season. I'm not going to have my real tree winter zip up. I don't have that, but like zip up onesie kind of insulated thing in the middle of summertime. That's not practical.
Is it a big bird one?
It's a big bird.
I'm going to bring my onesie.
But yeah, so it's got to be practical for the season.
Oh, my dragon onesie and my sword.
Dragon Ball Z.
And they're just going to think I'm fucking nuts. Stay away from the nuts.
You're the first one they eat.
But yeah, so that's like the idea is what's practical, what's realistic. All these like, have you seen those like credit card tools? It's got a knife and fish hooks that you can punch out. Is that really going to be effective? It'll help a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not that effective. The little like string saws that you can saw through like a 6-inch branch, it's going to snap.
Yeah.
But they have folding pruning saws that are, 6-8 inches long that are really, really good for smaller limbs.
Just get my axe. My battle axe.
When 9/11 happened, I left work early, and on my way home, I filled up my car, which I had a Suburban, so it had a 42-gallon tank. So I filled up the tank, but I bought some like an axe and a couple other things because I didn't have them.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if this is like World War III, because we didn't know what was going on yet, how do I help my family survive? And there were some basic tools that I did not have that I now have.
Yeah, I got a sharpening stone.
Yeah.
That was one thing I made sure I got. I mean, I definitely have my chest that basically has my winter survival gear in it, kind of thing. Because I think that's one thing that, as growing up, we had a scout leader that basically would take us out in the woods, and all we were allowed to have was backs of matches. We could have a 22 and just one box of ammo, and then flint and steel.
Yeah.
That's all we could have. And so like whatever clothes we had on. And so if you were stupid enough to wear a t-shirt and jeans and it's like 30 degrees out, you're like suffering,
That's
sit out
dangerous
for 3
for a scout
days.
leader to do, but
Well, and we didn't know the whole time he was actually in a tree stand across the field watching us, and because he'd just show up sometimes. We're like, wow, how'd you know we were gone 2 days without food? And he's like, hey, I brought some burgers for you guys, kind of thing. And we're like, oh, hey, thanks. But it was great because it taught, 6 of us how to really survive, how to make fire, how to make shelter, and it was always the worst part of the year because you wanted like the extremes, because anybody can survive when it's 70. It's really easy.
It's not that hard.
But when it's 22 out and you're like, I got to get this built.
I
got to get a shelter. I got to do this. You're pushing yourself and a bunch of fucking 15 and 6-year-olds. It taught us a lot.
Yeah.
And he's a Navy SEAL. And so hey, this is what we do. This is how we did it. It was cool. I mean, it's the stuff that dads should be teaching their kids, and
or moms. Moms can teach them too.
I think the moms are teaching them the nurturing part of how to keep the family positive,
sane,
and strong, and sane. And I don't think people realize that's in a crisis. Yeah, it's like, there's some amazingly strong women that have done awesome stuff throughout history that we just don't give them credit for enough. But.
Yeah. Well, final little thing too, if you have to leave, like you have to bug out kind of thing.
Yeah.
At least copies of, if not the originals, for important documents. Birth certificates, driver's license, social security card, passport, deed to your house, titles to your cars, that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't think about that too. So like I have like color copies of my kids' birth certificates because I gave them their birth certificates when they moved out on their own. But I have color copies and they're laminated so that if there's weather or whatever, you can still read it. And it's like, okay, it's not the official one, but the official one is exactly this, so it's at least something.
Yeah.
But having the important documents with you is also an important thing. So I have like a couple of files where, like an accordion file, where that's where everything will go. Grab it really quick, get out if I need to get out.
I have a guitar file.
A guitar file?
You have an accordion one. I have a guitar one.
I have
I'll have to think about
I
that.
have a flute file. Was that a thing?
I have a nail file.
You play the flute?
But yeah, so it's it's about just some basic stuff so that if something happens, you know that you're gonna be able to take care of things. So you can eat, you have enough to drink, you can keep yourself healthy until things finally resolve.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, it's all what if.
But
and
yeah.
that's the thing is I think when you plan for the worst,
hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Yeah, it's the best.
But is it really what if? I mean, if we've had 9/11, if we've had COVID.
It's what if because the actual disaster hasn't happened yet, but because of COVID, because of 9/11, because of Y2K, remember that one?
Yep.
But because of those things, we know that they're possible. And so it's how do you prepare for it?
Well, it's kind of funny because one of the best strategists talked about how could you take over the United States, and it's like you couldn't attack us. Like Red Dawn was probably the best scenario.
Yeah,
for that. Where you'd have to
Both of them were great.
airdrop, and they'd be spread out really far. It'd be really hard to take the harbors. I mean, and so he flat out said it's like you would have to immigrate, pretend to assimilate, slowly get into politics, slowly start taking over the policies, slowly take over, and then start rotting away that country's moral fiber and the way of belief. And I think we're starting to see that.
What is it? Ben Franklin's quoted as saying, when somebody asked him when they finally, all signed the Constitution, they said, "What did you give us?" And he said, "We gave you a republic. Let's see if you can keep it." Something like that.
Yeah.
Because if this country fails, it's because it failed internally, not because some country attacked us.
Amen.
Yeah, and I mean, that's honestly when Jefferson wrote the Constitution, he got it from John Locke's naval book. I mean, he flat out said a democracy, a pure democracy, which we're not, we're a republic.
Yeah,
because that only works for about 200 years before corruption starts setting in. And I'd say around the 200-year mark, corruption really started taking over.
there's been corruption here forever.
a lot of the government.
It's becoming
to a
more
higher-
obvious. Yeah.
I mean, you look back at history, half of those politicians that signed the Constitution were corrupt, and they only had their self-interest and stuff like that. I mean,
And it goes to, you cannot wait for the government to bail you out. You have to be able to do it yourself.
yeah. And that's one thing I noticed in The Walking Dead, and pretty much any movie that shows when the government's here to help, they all die.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny. But well, that was a interesting topic, Kansas City.
Yeah. It's one that's near and dear to my heart. But I'm not a doomsday prepper. I'm just a prepper.
Yeah, I think it's always good to at least have 72 hours.
Just be prepared.
Water and food, and then just be smart. You hunker down, let everybody else be chaotic and kill themselves, and you just stay safe.
Yeah. Cool.
I know where I'm going when the word's going down. I'm going to James's house. Just have to get through the fucking city to get there.
Right. Yeah. You're welcome. I got plenty of food.
He lives in
Once
the
you're here, I've got more
backwater.
protein.
Ooh.
That's disgusting.
Well, you're the one talking about eating
I took that the wrong way.
No, I was talking about like
We're gonna close on
cannibalism. On that note,
that. Stay classy, Kansas City. Good job, James.
thanks, Dawson. You too.
Did great. You know what?
So good.
Thanks for joining us and giving us your time. It's very precious. We appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Ding that little bell so you get notifications when we have new drops every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday.
And check out our dad jokes.
Yep. Make sure you comment. Let us know how we're doing.
Appreciate it.